Hey everyone, welcome back to Lens on Trains and the second episode of my journey in building my very first HL scale train diorama. If you've been following along since episode 1, you know this project is all about learning, experimenting and having fun with model railroading. For this episode, I focused on working on the lateral side of the diorama, but first I took a little trip to one of my local stores to stock up on some materials for this and future episodes. I picked up some decorative stones in 2 different colors and shapes. They were super affordable, a variety of acrylic paints and modeling paste, which, to be honest, might not have been the best choice, but in the end I think it worked out pretty well. Let me know what you think, and of course feel free to learn from my mistakes along the way. Now let's dive deep into the process. This is where I began using the modeling paste I mentioned earlier. It's fairly easy to work with, just add a little water and it becomes quite moldable. I use small pieces to gradually spread and attach them to the extruded polystyrene board. To help it stick better, I lightly moisten the surface beforehand. I've seen more experienced modelers using different materials for terrain and landscape details, but I decided to go with modeling paste for 3 reasons this time. It was affordable and easy to find at my local store. This section I was working on was narrow and compact, so this method helped me keep things neat. And I actually liked the final textures once it dried. You'll see that later in the video. For extra detail, I bought 2 500-gram cans of decorative stones. One contains smaller off-white stones and the other slightly larger rust-colored stones. My goal was to create a realistic coastal effect with rocks and dirt blending into the terrain. To create a natural look, I grouped the stones into clusters, forming different shapes and textures. I arranged the stones carefully, pressing them into the wet modeling paste to ensure they stayed in place. No glue was needed, and aside from a few that didn't stick due to not being pressed in enough, everything held together nicely. I'll need to repeat the same process on the lateral side of the diorama, which will remain fully visible and isn't positioned against the wall. Since this side will be more exposed, I'll pay extra attention to the placement of the stones and textures to ensure a natural detail look. Just like before, I'll press the stones directly into the modeling paste while it's still wet, making sure they adhere properly. This will help maintain consistency across the diorama while adding more depth and realism to the final scene. Once the modeling paste dried overnight, I noticed some natural cracking, which I think adds even more realism. The next step will be painting everything using the acrylics I picked up. I'm also planning to extend the track as I mentioned in the first episode, so make sure to subscribe and stay tuned for the upcoming episodes to see how it all comes together. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.